Well, I think we're just going to fight, right? I mean, isn't that what we're going to do tonight? We're just going to argue MMA?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down. Flag's got to read my piece. I did a piece on Conor McGregor.
Wait. We haven't introed yet. Do not talk about that.
You are now tuned in to this week's episode of our podcast. Today we are going to interview some of the greatest and most influential minds in our field. By sharing our collective expertise, we will show you how to harness, control, and use your own skill set to achieve ultimate success and live the life you want. And now, please welcome your host.
Shut up, Marco. This is Tanner. I'm the host of the Anomalies. We're missing Trash Man. He's stuck in the polar vortex.
I wouldn't say missing. He's just not here.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, it was a ricochet shot. You deserve that, Ronnie. You got it coming. Anyways, I got TA with me, Tyler Allen out in Nebraska. He's got a fresh new soundboard, so you're going to hear more of that, I'm sure. Marco, the asshole down in Iowa, who is officially done roofing, got a fresh $10 fade, and he's going to fight with everybody tonight at MMA. Just watch. And we have another special guest. We got friend of the show, Anomaly brother of ours, Flags, Jonathan Flagel, down in Indiana. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, brother. How you doing?
I'm tired as fuck, but we're gonna do this podcast because, god damn it, we're grinders.
Hell yeah.
That's what we do.
So, if anybody has followed us on Twitter, I think we are over 100. So shout out all 100 plus of you. You have seen that we are gearing up for these MMA fights this weekend.
I wouldn't say we. Maybe the three of us. You're talking shit because you don't believe the hype is real.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm just not gonna touch myself to it like you guys will.
I know.
you guys could see the face Tyler just made at that comment. We're talking about Ronnie. Let's be honest. He'll be there naked in a beanbag chair, pouring Budweiser over himself, waxing his mullet.
Well, I mean, he might be pouring Budweiser over himself, but he's been drinking poppers while he's doing it.
Can we all agree before we start fighting, because I got to find this passion to fight with you, Marco. Can we all just agree that Cowboy's life could end in a cage this weekend? Is it possible to say that?
I think it's possible to say that for everyone in Cowboys fights.
Okay, well.
Because he goes in there I
feel like this is his most lethal opponent, according to the world.
I mean, arguably it could be his toughest opponent. It just depends on how you want to look at it. He's lost a lot of fights, but
I think it's such a unique matchup. Is kind of what it's two different styles, but two legends of the industry and just unique talkers. Both like Conor is obviously known for his mouth, but kind of in the opposite way, Cowboy's known for his mouth and just being a good old boy to everybody. So.
I like the way you say "good old boy." That Indiana redneck comes out.
You said something there about having similar or different styles, and I want to touch on that later. But for anybody that lives under a fucking rock, UFC 246 is going to happen this weekend. Conor McGregor versus Cowboy Cerrone. This fight was supposed to happen a couple different times, all the way back to 2015. Everything happens at the right time for a reason. I think that for anybody that saw the press conference, anybody who's paid attention to Conor as of lately, after he, got done being an asshole out in the world, it seems like he's rededicated, refocused. I think that, win or lose, I think we're going to see the Conor McGregor that we all fell in love with when he was making his title run. So.
Well, he did stop drinking. I heard that. So that's shows a level of commitment, which I appreciate. Not so much the not drinking, just that he's willing to commit to that when he's literally the owner of a freaking Irish whiskey. So that being said, to the commitment at least.
Well, that being said, Cowboy, from what I understand, never has quit drinking, even through camps. Everybody knows he's sponsored through Budweiser. But from what I understand, he doesn't change that, which, I don't know. I don't know if that could affect you negatively or not. I'm more worried about his last 2 losses were KO or TKO, and one of them was his eye or nose, whatever happened there. It was doctor stoppage. But, he's taking some shots, and Conor is known for delivering that left hand. So it's. I would never say that he would die out there, but if he did, after watching that press conference, I don't think there's any other way he would have wanted it to go.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Can we all agree that those Budweiser cans are the absolute best can of beer I've ever seen made in my life?
Those are pretty dope.
Definite Ghost Rider.
Yeah. I for showmanship, which Conor usually pulls off, I think Cowboy at the press conference yesterday was fucking epic with his. Even Conor paid homage to his fucking python black coat and his cowboy hat, and it was kind of dark, and he looked like the Undertaker up there on the stage. It was fucking awesome. So
I did see the memes like that after the fact of just the comparison shot. Him yesterday, Taker in his prime.
Did you guys catch the immediate Robbie Fox out of Barstool's question?
Oh, yeah, just his morning routine.
Asked him about waking up earlier in his morning routine. I thought that was obviously I'm not on the Conor hype train right now, but I thought that was like a different human being answering that question. That's not how I expected him to answer that at all.
I agree. Well, he talked about his kids and stuff too, which
Right.
he tends to leave them out of his public persona. It seems like, and
I would too, but yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But being a dad, I of little ones at least right now, I can certainly relate to that. Which I don't think I've ever seen Conor as quote unquote the most relatable person. Now, respectable, absolutely. Respect his game, respect where he came from and everything. But man, that he's just a different human being that I've never been able to like quote unquote connect with until Robbie asked that question.
Yeah, I thought that was the answer and question were equally, I guess, as good as I could have asked for. You know what we're talking about, Marco?
No, I did not hear the question.
He commented saying Conor had mentioned in the other questions that he'd been, during this training camp, he'd been waking up earlier and kind of rededicating himself to his morning routines, focusing on his mornings and whatnot. And then Conor answered, like, what's the mornings of Conor McGregor's life look like while he's been training for this fight? And he went into not just the training, but, mentioned his family and, like, honestly walked us through his whole day. It was a pretty mature response, I guess, and it wasn't overly chauvinistic, which we were expecting, which is what makes Conor entertaining. Don't get me wrong. I love the shit talking. I love the loudmouth, but
I felt that yesterday. Well, and as I've said, because I've defended him over the last couple of weeks, but you really saw that yesterday in the press conference where he had several opportunities where he could have went back to old Conor. Even the press, they were baiting him. And you could tell, Tyler, I think you saw it, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
They were definitely baiting him to like just kind of like poke the bear a little bit.
Yep.
And I think he handled it well. He just kept saying, you know what, I'm here, I'm dedicated, I'm really focused. All I care about is this fight. All my legal problems are being handled by my lawyers. I'm not, guilty of anything, but I'm not here for that. I'm here to talk about the fight. So he's definitely focused. He's definitely dedicated. Win, lose for either one of these guys. I think it's a win for everybody. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think that Conor found his will and his want of the sport again. So we'll see.
So let's go around the room. Let's start with predictions. Marco, you're gonna go last because you're the loudest.
Well, can I give the odds real quick? According
actually,
to okay,
I'm glad you have them.
yeah.
Going to
So
FanDuel?
looking at FanDuel, the McGregor Cerrone fight, McGregor's at minus 320 right now. So
the line's moved a little bit.
It's a pretty significant lead there. When you look at method of victory, though, Conor McGregor by KO or TKO is minus 200. So that's obviously how they're expecting the rounds to go. What I found interesting is the total rounds. The over/under is 1.5. So
Counting on that left hand for sure.
I expected it to be the odds to be for a shorter fight.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess they both just can start throwing. Donald's a little more wild. It seems
Where's
like.
Cowboy at?
Yeah. So it's kind of one of those things where I was kind of surprised, honestly, to see at 1.5. I was expecting maybe 2, but we'll see. I might have to hammer the over on that for myself.
What's the odds on Cowboy?
Odds on Cowboy is plus 245.
Huh. That's not a bad payday. For any of you out there that don't know how that works, a plus 245 means you bet 100, you win 245 plus your 100 back. And the opposite way was what? 320?
320 minus 320. So you have to bet 320.
You're betting $320 just to win 100. So odds are definitely in Connor's favor. But that 1.5 rounds, I mean, that's the real moneymaker for anybody, because if Connor's gonna win, and well, I'm not gonna give my prediction now, but because we still have to go through that. But that makes sense, the timeline, because just if you even average out all of his knockouts, it's got to be within the first round and a half, all of them.
How many people can take a punch like Cowboy, though? I mean, that's just that's the one thing that gets me on that over under. Is
He's got
He's coming off 2 first-round TKOs right now.
One of which was a doctor stoppage, like you mentioned.
So came off it.
Okay.
TA, what's gonna happen this weekend?
I'm gonna be the outlier and say that Connor gets it done, but it takes all 3 rounds.
It's 5.
Or 5. Sorry, my bad. But I think it goes north of 3 rounds. And if there's a stoppage, I see it happening either in the 4th or the 5th. But if Cowboy can get it done, it rockets him to that next tier. But I think it's Connor's night, especially at 170. He looks jacked at 170.
Yeah, to me, that's my favorite part about this entire match, that they're fighting at 170.
Yeah, for the number 1 contendership at 155.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, I like that there's questions around what they're doing, but.
Well, it's their more natural weight, which I appreciate. I know Rogan talks a lot about how people should really be fighting at their natural weight. It's unhealthy and stuff. And it's so nice to see people when they're really, truly in shape. And I think it'll be interesting to see how they really, if there's any difference in their abilities, because they didn't have to cut weight so much.
What are they ranked right now? McGregor's 13th pound for pound, 4th in the 155. Marco, you should be regurgitating this stuff to me. You spent the last 2 weeks literally touching yourself to this.
Yeah, but I don't really look at the rankings. I have my own rankings in my head.
Oh, I need weekly Marco rankings.
What's the Marco rankings right now? Where's Connor?
I mean, it depends on what weight class we're looking at. We're not doing me right now.
Oh, you can chime in on rankings.
Oh. I don't know. I still think we have the best Connor ahead of us. So that's just
how old is Connor?
31.
Mm-hmm.
Connor is 13 on pound for pound.
4th and 5th in 155. Connor's 4th, Cerrone's 5th. It's the 155.
Yep.
Since we're technically looking at the
that weight that they're not fighting at.
Right.
I do got to say that Connor at 170 right now looks way better than he did against Nate Diaz.
And
he is fucking solid, ready to go. Tanner, what's your opinions on that?
Okay. You guys watched the Manny Pacquiao Mayweather fight?
Uh-huh.
In one word, how would you describe that fight?
Boring.
And that's what we're going to see this weekend.
You're a fucking liar. You don't even know what you're talking about.
It's going all the way through. It's going to be.
Have you watched
decision.
either one of these two fight?
Yeah, you
Ever?
have the meatball. Yeah, plenty of times.
And you think that? Okay, please explain to me. Okay, so by boring, how do you think this fight's going to actually go?
You didn't let me finish my prediction. Let me finish my prediction, then you start crying, you little girl. So it's going to go through all 5. Split decision. Conor will get the win because he'll probably earn it, and it's good for UFC, whatever. Not saying it's not rigged. Anyways, I am so over these two. I individually like them. This fight is the worst thing that's going to happen to their careers. Cowboy's going to be done pretty much. We're never going to see him contend for a title again. Conor's going to unjustifiedly. That's not a word, but fuck you, I'm using it. It's an adverb today. He's gonna bump into the title shot. Somehow he'll probably pull it off too, because he's better. But whatever. Anyways, it's gonna be boring. They're going to be coming into this so well prepared for each other. No one's gonna be able to land anything lethal. There might be a couple little highlights here and there, and that's what ESPN will market it with. But it's gonna be boring. Ton of defense. I'm saying more defense than we've ever seen out of either of these two. It's just going to be boring. We're going to be let down. This has been built up just like Pacquiao Mayweather, just like the huge. I mean, think of the marquee matchups that have been public or that have been pushed for months and months and months and months like this one. It's going to be just the same. It's going to fucking flop. Marco, you might be right about the pay-per-view buys. It's not really fair to compare because ESPN Plus now having the pay-per-view buys, it's easier to access. I think we can all agree to that. But either way, I'm not excited for this fight anymore. I was excited for the two fighting each other finally. I'm not saying Conor's not at his peak. I'm not saying he might not be better in the future. That's not my argument. I'm going to say this individual fight's going to suck. I hope I'm wrong. I always want to see a good fight, but I am so ready for it to be over.
You sound so stupid right now.
Tell me why. Tell me what McGregor's done in the last 2 years to make me think, as a casual fan, because that's where I'm always coming from, to tell me what he's going to do. In the last 2 years, what has he done that's going to prove to me that he's going to come out with fireworks?
Why does that have to be what happened over the last 2 years?
Because that's who he is.
How many fights has he had in 2 years?
So, how many breakout games did Aaron Rodgers had after he didn't do a motherfucking thing? Sometimes they just have breakout fucking games.
What are you talking about? Aaron Rodgers has never taken 2 years off.
Yeah, Conor took that by choice.
Aaron Rodgers didn't play a different sport.
And
he's had a bad game here and there and bounced back immediately.
And held 2 titles, Conor did, while holding out for 2 years. Aaron Rodgers didn't have that choice.
You can argue, and I'll admit if you win, but that was a stupid argument.
No, I'm just saying, like, it shouldn't. Nothing previously to what you have done should matter when it comes to shit like this.
So Cowboys' last 2 first-round knockouts. Cowboys' last 2 first-round knockouts don't mean anything then.
Even though you were very, very, very blunt about saying they count.
No, they should. When I'm talking about Cowboys, but now I'm talking about Conor.
Oh,
so
different
rules
how
for
this
different
works?
people.
Okay.
Don't understand how this works?
Yeah.
No.
Don't
I'm just fucking around. No, I'm fucking around. But what I will say is, Conor lost those 2 fights because for 2 reasons. A, he shouldn't have ever been in there with fucking Floyd, and I'll admit to that. But he did hold his own. He did hold his own, and Flags, you can say what the fuck you wanted. If
Floyd was playing with him the
Floyd
entire
is the most defensive boxer.
He didn't even throw a punch for 4 rounds.
Okay. So, since you guys are such boxing enthusiasts, tell me the last time Floyd Mayweather lost 1 round to anyone besides Conor.
Oh, you'd have to go back a long ways.
Exactly. Why would he do that? Why would he give up anything?
Because
he already had his paycheck.
How did it finish? How did the fight finish?
In the 10th round.
Because Connor
because Connor finally got tired.
Gassed. Yes,
Gassed.
Right.
Gassed. Like he couldn't even throw a punch.
Mayweather could have ended that in the 5th.
Easily.
Mayweather was toying with him. Mayweather's a defensive boxer, lands his spots when he wants to.
And
He wanted the easy knockout.
Let me ask you the same question I just asked you. When is the last time Floyd Mayweather lost a round?
I couldn't name it.
It doesn't really matter.
But neither could you.
But it does.
This was
Okay, do you know anything about Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah, he's undefeated his entire career.
Best boxer of all time.
You think he's just going to give up rounds willingly?
Yes.
For $100 million, yes.
He already had $100 million.
It's about the legacy.
It doesn't matter.
Why wouldn't it matter? He said after that fight he was retiring forever. Why wouldn't you go out with a 5th-round knockout if he could do it? Why not?
That was the biggest hyped match of his career. I have no doubt about it. I think
the Pacquiao fight still holds record at $4.5 million.
Yeah, but Pacquiao brings his own draw.
But Pacquiao,
that was one of the worst
two of them were going back and forth. There was a media circus around this fight that was never before seen. And what happened to the two of them after the fight was over? What happened to the two of them? They were best buds after that fight was over. This was a contrived fight.
Just capitalize on that.
Oh, they capitalized. They got 10 rounds of content. This was 10 rounds of content.
What content? How many times have you seen that fight since then?
0.
None.
Me neither. So what content?
We got a longer.
What do you mean since that match?
Since the match. How many times has anybody gone back and watched that fight again?
There was probably 3 months where it still got talked about.
And they showed highlights of the 10th round.
No
way.
When Floyd finally put the gas on, as you guys so say.
They also showed Connor coming out strong.
They showed Connor's.
This was a contrived match.
Floyd lit his ass up in the 5th round and completely dominated him like you guys suggested he could have, that would have been way more memorable. Way more. And that's the way he would have wanted to finish that fight if he could have just easily walked through him.
Disagree.
It didn't matter when he finished him. I disagree. It didn't matter when he finished him. As long as he finished him before it wasn't a decision, it didn't matter. KO, TKO, doesn't matter what round it was, but he created 10 rounds of content, and he made it look like Connor was more of a boxer than what he was. He played with him the entire time. He didn't even throw punches until the 5th round.
It's the old school way of thinking, Marco, and just open
your
mind.
Please explain to me how old school you are.
No, I'm not talking. I'm speaking in general here. If you are opposing somebody in anything, and you know the world will be watching, or you know there will be an audience, and you're confident you're going to conquer that opponent, right? You want to do nothing before the match to make them seem weak. So if Floyd is confident that he's going to win that match, especially during it, he's gonna punch. He's gonna let Connor get his shots in on him. Tyler's laughing because he's a huge pro wrestling fan.
If that's what you're tying into, essentially.
But that's a popular one. But anyways, you know that you need to have this go down as a competitive match.
I know you're full of shit because you've never actually watched a fucking boxing match. You want to know how I know that?
I have.
Because I grew up watching boxing, and you know how many times that me and my parents, as I was a little kid, grew up. And how much money we used to pay for Tyson fights.
What does that have to do with
And we knew that he was going to take that motherfucker out in the 1st round, and we still dropped $50.
Tyson,
so don't lie to me and say that Floyd Mayweather knows how to play the game. Everybody hates to watch Floyd fight because he's fucking boring. And if he could have taken him out in the 5th round, he would have. Plain and simple. Because he's not Mike Tyson, because he can't knock nobody the fuck out.
Here's the thing. They're two different fighters, obviously. Clearly. Tyson's a knockout fighter. You expect him and want him to knock him out in round 1, round 2, round 3. You don't expect Mayweather to knock anybody out ever. So here's the thing. In looking at the history of boxing, There's never been any kind of staging of anything or any kind of fixing of anything, right? I'm not saying that this was fixed, that he would go down in the 10th. I'm just saying they said, take it easy on him until he's gassed and then you can take him out once he's finally done. I have no doubt in my mind it was everybody's biggest payday. It was Floyd's biggest payday. It was Conor's biggest payday. All the money, everybody, and the advertisers, the TV contracts. They're like, don't just let it last. Just let it last. I don't care when it happens. Don't let Conor look like a bitch and let it last. That's just all that happened.
I'm with you.
Huh, that's funny. Nobody ever expressed Floyd Mayweather knock anybody out. Can somebody please hold on? Can we get that in there?
It never works.
Nobody expects
50 fights, 27 wins by knockout by Floyd Mayweather. Yet nobody ever explained. That's over 50% if I do my math correctly. So fuck both of you. He could have won that round in the 5th, or that fight in the 5th. He would have done it.
How many of those were knockouts and how many of those were TKOs?
Yeah.
Tyson did legit knockouts.
Could have done it.
TKOs are a completely different story.
If he could have done it, he would have done it. He couldn't do it, Captain.
And that's not 50%. That's like 49.5.
I think
27 out of 50 is over 50%. How?
I think the money spoke.
But isn't it 55 or 55 total fights?
5-0. There's only 50 fights.
Oh, okay.
So, anyways, I guess back to the Cowboy the fight. Here's my take. I feel like Cowboy at 170, it fits his frame better than what Conor does. I think Conor's he fits better in the 155. So Cowboy at 170, because he's a little bit taller, he's got 3 inches on him. It's about the same reach, about the same leg. I think the frame fits Cowboy better. I still think Conor's going to come out with a win. I have no clue how it's going to come out, because literally either one could knock each other out. But I think it's not going to come fast, because I think Cowboy at 170 is going to be a lot stronger than what he would be at 150 where he normally fights at 155.
Cowboy's last like 5 fights are at 170.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I apologize.
That's why I don't know shit about boxing either, flags. No, I'm just kidding.
Cognac, though. It's whiskey. I don't even know.
I come off sounding like I'm totally anti-Cowboy, and I'm not. My favorite fighter.
You really do. That's been the second
But the
most.
problem is, I've been pushed into a corner, and I feel like I'm the only one that can defend Conor, besides Trash Man, who's not here. And I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Let me go.
You started anti-Cowboy before I even started throwing anything back at you.
I was never
here's the thing.
Cowboy. I was pro Conor. There's a difference.
Who did TA pick to win?
Thick.
TA picked Conor to win. Who did Vanilla Grillo pick to win? He picked Conor to win.
Unfortunately.
So
but I also gave him the kudos of like, hey, if Cowboy pulls it off, he gets into that next stratosphere. But I don't think he does.
So I was a huge fan of BJ Penn for a really long time.
Oh, God.
And after he retired, after his, was it second or third loss to Frankie Edgar, he retired, but he came back like a million times. And I was like, you know what? I retired and was my favorite fighter, and Cowboy became my favorite fighter because of how active he is, his attitude, his everything. Like, I fucking love Cowboy as a fighter.
I don't think you're alone in that. I think a lot of people.
Yeah, no, and it's the same thing. It's like he's like America. When you think of like what America could be when it comes to like fighters, think of people like Tim Kennedy, Cowboy Cerrone, Chris Weidman. There's like a lot of those, like even Stipe Miocic, he's Croatian, but he's a fucking firefighter in Cleveland. And he holds his belt and is a firefighter all at the same time. Like, that's fucking American shit right there. Cowboy's one of those dudes. he's a grinder. He comes to fight, short notice fights. He's known for that. He fights. Just if you even go through his fight history, you can see how many times he fights within 6 weeks of each other, 2 weeks of each other. So I've always been a huge fan. And the only reason that I've been hesitant to give him this is for 2 reasons. I think that he, even though the one with Tony Ferguson was the doctor stoppage after the second round, he did take a lot of shots in that. In the Justin Gaethje fight, he got rocked real hard and he got stopped in that. And watching Conor and his training videos and how he physically looks and how he's acting, how he's talking, it seems like I said before that he found that hunger again and that willingness to fight. So if he's completely focused on this and he's sober and he's not fucking around and he's just staying in the gym and he's training hard, if he can land that left hand, that's where that 1.5 rounds of the knockout come in, because it's going to happen. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen quick. It's within that first, and I have Conor winning like mid-second, probably to late second round. Left hand. I don't know if he'll starch him, but it's going to be a huge left to either set it up or put him out. And if that doesn't happen, I still can't just give the fight to Cowboy on decision. And you saw him. I don't see Cowboy outlasting Nate Diaz. And what we saw Conor do in the second fight with Nate Diaz, he did gas in the second round, but he came back, won the third, fourth, however that broke down. I don't think that the cardio is going to be an issue for Conor. So even if he doesn't put him to sleep in the first or second round, Conor still has that chance, because it seems like he's rededicated. And I think he's going to have the gas tank to pull it off. Even against Khabib, he came back, won the third round. He was doing well in the fourth until he got caught. So I can't just turn around and say that it's just going to be a Cowboy on a decision. So I have to leave. I have to lean towards Conor. I think if Cowboy loses in spectacular fashion, he might just call it a day, which I would hate. I don't want to see him go out like that. But I think if he gets, lit up, he might just take that payday and open up that ranch for training purposes or whatever, and he'll be fine.
He is 36 years old.
Yeah, and he's taken a lot of fucking fights. He's got the most fights in UFC history. He's got the most wins. He's got the most bonuses. But that's because he gets in there and he fights, 4 times a year. But I think that if Conor can pull that off in spectacular fashion, he came to 170 pounds because he wants Jorge Masvidal. Before all this started, when Masvidal floored Ben Askren with a knee and the Darren Till knockout and the Nate Diaz fight, I would have said there's no fucking way Conor could handle that. And a lot of people didn't. But seeing who Conor is now, and depending on how this fight works out on Saturday, that could actually be a very competitive fight. And they did say that the March UFC is open. So if Conor can get through Cowboy in the first, second round, then he doesn't get beat up a lot, I can see him calling out Jorge Masvidal for that fight in March. And then if by some fucking crazy miracle he pulled that off, I would think they would give him the Khabib fight. And that would be in July at the International Fight Week in Vegas. And I've already made plans to go to that no matter who is fighting that weekend. But if I could see Conor and Khabib too while I was in Vegas in July, that is my ultimate goal. Boom.
That would, not saying Conor can't pull that off, but
that's
that
a
would be
big year for Conor.
That'd be a hell of an ask. I mean, let's be honest. Cowboy is no, cake in the park. And Masvidal followed by Khabib. Whew, that would be epic, and that would solidify him. That would move him way up, way closer to the pound by pound, top rankings.
Absolutely, sure. Absolutely, and and that's kind of for anybody that didn't get a chance to read the blog, Tanner. I said this.
I've been working.
Yeah.
Working on those pounder curls, huh?
That's terrible.
I just this is going to be the beginning of the best Conor we're going to see yet, and that's what I hope for. I never want to see Cowboy lose in spectacular fashion, but at the same time, like if he's going to lose, he'd probably want to get knocked out. And if that's the way it goes down, and if he could somehow get through Jorge Masvidal, and then Khabib happens, this could be the best Conor we've ever seen.
You just said somehow get through Masvidal. McGregor would be favored against Masvidal.
I don't know about that.
How wouldn't he?
Against Jorge Masvidal?
Dude, he's favored against Cowboy huge.
Yeah, but look at what Masvidal has just done. I mean, he went through Nate Diaz, Ben Askren, and Darren Till. Those are some heavy hitters.
So
the Ben Askren fight wasn't even a fight, though. Like, that was like...
Ben Askren was undefeated, bro.
Oh, he's badass. Don't get me wrong. But the fight itself was a bit of a fluke. Masvidal came out and did what he did and knocked him out with the knee. That wasn't even a fight.
We've had this fight before. We've had this argument before.
I'm not saying he didn't earn the win. He earned the win, but there wasn't even a fight. So
we'll never know what would have happened. You're saying as if he would have missed on that knee? Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
So
that's fair.
It's impressive what he did. What he did, he took everybody by surprise, and Askren went down. It is what it is. Yeah. I'm
not shitting on Masvidal, Marco. I'm just asking for I guess why you think Masvidal would be a bigger threat to Conor.
Putting those 3 wins together over Cowboy, losing to Tony Ferguson, losing to Justin Gaethje, but winning over Conor, I look at, I just feel like the odds would be more in Masvidal's favor as opposed to what Cowboy has.
Okay. I mean, I can see that. Masvidal has all the momentum in the world right now. I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that.
I think the lines should be a lot closer.
Sure.
Than what they are now.
But so, like, as a Conor backer, you fear Masvidal more as an opponent to Conor than you would do Cowboy? Is that correct?
Yes.
Is it close?
Yes. No, it's very close. And
okay. That's what I was hoping you'd clarify that.
Yeah. So this is what Flags had mentioned earlier, and this is what I wanted to bring up. He said that they're very different, but Conor and Cowboy their styles are different, but their approach is the same. They're kind of long. They don't get hit well unless Cowboy wants to stand and bang with you, then he'll get hit. But most of the time they're long. They use their kicks. They use their long range jab. So, and that might be what you were saying, Tanner. You think it's gonna be boring, but I think that they're still both fast enough with Cowboy's kickboxing career and Conor's everything boxing. Jeet Kune Do, shout out Bruce Lee. I had to rock
for the listeners.
I had to rock
Marco is wearing a Bruce Lee shirt right now
for this podcast because that's how much of a believer I am in Conor, because he does and has studied Jeet Kune Do, which is part of why he has such an awkward stance and delivery.
It is awkward.
He's very rangy, for lack of a better word. Yeah, very unorthodox, and especially being southpaw, and he's just got a weird stance. So I don't know. I'm excited. I still think it's going to be a great fight, no matter what happens. I don't know. I think it's going to be a really good year for UFC and for fight fans. After this, we have
shaping up for it to be a great year.
And we have Cowboy and Tony, or Khabib and Tony. And then in March, it could be the winner of this fight versus anyone, really.
March already? You think they're going to come back that quick?
Yeah, I think if either of them can win in the first, second round and they don't break anything, either one of them would flip around and fight in March, I think. The winner would.
That'd be aggressive.
Yeah, not really. Not because Conor wants to fight 4 times this year. I already said it. Or 3 or 4.
I think they'd be willing to. The stars would have to align, and obviously,
no. Conor already said at the press conference. He said, "If I can make this quick," he said, "I want to fight in March." Daniel was like, "Okay, okay."
Dana will make money. So we got through the predictions, but let's talk future. Win or lose. Okay. Just in general. McGregor wants Masvidal more than anybody. Is that what you're saying?
I think that the fact he came in at 170, that's the first person on his list. He also wants to fight Justin Gaethje.
Yeah.
But he also, and Dana already said if he wins this fight, he would get a rematch with Khabib. But I still think that the order would go Khabib or Masvidal and then Khabib.
Yeah, there's got to be a layer before Khabib again.
Yeah.
Like, just from like earning it. Like there's some other people who have earned that right, I feel like, and not to say that Conor hasn't, but and beating Cerrone would certainly speak to that. But being that the last fight was with Khabib, there's got to be some kind of separation between. You can't just go back to back to back.
Right.
So that makes sense what you're saying, Marco, for sure.
I hope that Khabib does win that fight with Tony. Not only because Tony blocked me on Twitter, so fuck him, but because I did go back and I rewatched the fight with Conor and Khabib, and that was obviously when Conor was going through all his, whatever. I'm not gonna make excuses for him, but he showed a lot of fight, I guess, for lack of a better word, in that third round where he did turn around. He was gassed the fuck out in the second round. Khabib beat the shit out of him. Came back, won that third round, was doing well in the fourth round until he got caught. I think if we got a refocused, rededicated, win off Cowboy, win off Masvidal, come into that fight with Khabib, I think that we would have a different Conor. I think we would have a different fight. And, I think that would be that at that point, if Conor can pull both those wins off, that will be probably hold the record for the biggest fight of all time ever. If Conor can get through those two and fight Khabib,
I think Conor Khabib too. Yeah, I agree. I think that'd be the biggest fight. Khabib right now should have the respect of everybody in the fucking world. He beat Conor.
Yeah,
he is continually just
he's beat
dominated every opponent.
He's dominated everybody.
He just hasn't had close fights. I mean, really.
Yeah.
And I think Tony has a puncher's chance.
I wouldn't even say puncher's chance. He's a good fighter. He's fast. He's resilient. He's got a gas tank for days.
But Khabib doesn't make mistakes. You can't get in on Khabib. It was impressive that Conor had that great round against him.
But the problem with Tony is he's Eddie Bravo. That's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So when you get him to the ground, it's not like when you take Conor to the ground.
Sure.
He can get out of that, or he can put you in a dangerous spot.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I mean, I still hope Khabib wins, but
just because it'll set up better for Conor or what?
And because he blocked me, so fuck him.
So you legit don't like Tony?
No, I do like him, I guess, but
I think he's entertaining as all hell.
Yeah, and he's fun to watch fight. He likes to go out there and scrap.
Do you think Conor's done at 155 then?
No.
No, he'll go back down. Cerrone, I think, might be done at 155.
Is that Usman?
Belt.
Who's got the title right now? Usman?
No, that's at 170.
Usman's got it.
Yeah, Usman's got the 170 belt. You're in the wrong place.
Yeah, I'm flipping them already. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I think that would definitely be a hard day. I think, and he said it. He said that he's eyeing Usman, but I do not like that fight for Conor. Kamaru Usman is a fucking tank of a man. He took out Tyron Woodley, then Colby Covington. I don't know if Conor wants to get in there with that.
Yeah, that'd be fun to watch Colby Covington, Conor. That'd be the shit talk.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So just to kind of throw one more name out there that we haven't even mentioned tonight, Justin Gaethje or whatever. He's ranked at number 3 in the 155. McGregor at 4, Cerrone 5. So let's assume McGregor wins. Where does Gaethje sit at? Because
He's actually third person on that hit list. He put out an interview and he said Masvidal, Khabib, Gaethje. Those are the three names he put out. So,
but are we gonna get it in that order though? Like, I think your order makes sense, but I feel like when's Gaethje fight next?
He doesn't. I don't think he has a fight lined up. I think he'll be sitting at any weight ready to go if somebody pulls out. So yeah.
I'd like to see his rematch with Poirier.
Yeah, but Poirier's out with a surgery, I believe.
Is he? Who's the other guy he lost to? Alvarez?
He's out. He's out.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just trying to think of
Barboza
redemption matches, I guess, for Gaethje.
Well, the timing too.
It was Alvarez he lost to, right? He's only lost 2 or 3 times.
I think so.
Gaethje, he's 22-0.
Yeah.
20 wins, 2 losses, and 2 no decisions. So he's only got 2 losses. 1, 2. He lost to Vic. Is that?
No, he came back from his loss and beat Vic, right? Vic's a nobody.
So it must have been.
Yeah, Poirier and Alvarez.
And they were back to back, or no?
Yep, back to back.
The only reason I know all this is because I was looking him up a few weeks ago. I'm not a big Gaethje fan or anything. I mean, I think he's a good fighter.
Okay, I could see this happening. So let's say that Conor does win. I think Cowboy would get the rematch with Gaethje.
That would be fun.
That would be awesome.
Because Gaethje into that early.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Because that fight just happened in September last year. So, I could see that happening. If Conor gets tied up with Masvidal or, even Khabib, we can see Gaethje and Cowboy again. I'm okay with that. As long as, Cowboy doesn't get lit up like a fucking Christmas tree and go out like a fucking banshee.
But that'd be good for the sport. I mean,
I hate to see these guys retire, though.
Yeah, but at the same time, if there's one guy who you do want to see get lit up on his way out, Cowboy would be the one to. I mean, that'd be awesome. Nobody can lose like Cowboy.
Yeah, but you don't believe in CTE, and I do.
It's not that I don't believe in it, but I think it's been blown up. A lot of people claim things to be CTE that are not. Is that fair?
I mean, I don't know.
CTE gets thrown around a lot.
I got this fucking really bad back pain. I think I have CTE.
Yeah.
Has anybody watched the Aaron Hernandez documentary that came out, though?
No, I'm going to watch it tomorrow.
I heard McAfee talking about that, and McAfee sure seemed convinced, man. I haven't seen it yet, but I don't know. That CTE, I feel like there's different. My thing is, I feel like there's different levels. Like there's maybe like a mild version,
and then Antonio Brown.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
Antonio Brown and Aaron Hernandez. Jeez.
Can we talk about Antonio Brown for a minute? That guy he's done, right? He'll never play NFL ball.
No.
He can still go to the XFL though, right? Or is he a felon?
No, the XFL said that they're going to be stricter on character issues than anybody else.
Yeah, they're going to try to stay away from like those felony and whatever. And he's just right on his way.
Or is he going to fight Jake Paul then?
Oh, that would be fun. That'd be entertaining at least.
I mean, something's got to be wrong with Antonio Brown.
Yeah, CTE.
Drew Rosenhaus terminated him.
Just dropped him today.
Oh, yeah, he said until he got help or whatever, he wouldn't come back to him.
But then again, I was listening to Willie Colon this morning on Barstool Breakfast.
It was pretty deep.
And yeah, Willie was like, dude's been a head case forever since even before that big hit he took. So, I mean, even at Central Michigan, I think is where he played. I mean,
yeah, Central Western.
Yeah. So he, he's been a bit of a head case for a while. So can you blame CTE 100%? Probably not. But can it contribute towards? For sure.
Shout out Ocho Cinco showing up last night at the UFC press conference.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's working for Bleacher Report now?
Oh,
Well,
I don't know.
maybe the
I don't know
XFL.
that. Is he?
He's gonna be a kicker for the
he,
XFL.
he just tried out as a kicker for the XFL.
No,
yeah.
he asked the very last question at the press conference last night.
Yeah, but he also tried out for the XFL.
That's pretty sweet. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I believe it was Tyler, was it Bleacher Report? Is that who he's working with?
What was it? It was somebody right like that. Let me go.
Yeah, if you guys end up catching the press conference, he was just fast forward to the very end. He asked the last question.
Now.
Yeah, because I think Dana saw him out in the crowd, and he was like, hey, "One last question." It was Ocho Cinco. I was like, "Oh shit!" That's kind of crazy. And then I heard that he was doing the XFL. He's going to kick.
Yeah.
For the brand.
For the brand.
He in his interview or whatever, he said that hopefully making the XFL would lead to him having a chance to make the NFL as a kicker.
That's crazy.
He's always. I mean, he's been a soccer. He plays quite a bit of soccer, and
he's a swimmer too. He can swim, so he's got strong legs.
Yeah, when he was a Bengal, didn't he kick a field goal, an extra point, or a kickoff or something? When the kicker got hurt, it might have been preseason. I can't. It was a while ago.
Had to have been preseason if it had.
That'd be fun. That'd be really cool. Think about all the athletes that are just retiring, in their late 30s or whatever, wide receivers, and I mean, it doesn't whatever the position. But imagine if they start coming back and start kicking.
Yeah,
no more of this bullshit Cody Parkey stuff.
We're done though, because like a bunch of young kids are losing kicking jobs to older.
Aussie football players. Yeah, Aussie.
So now you want to bring in retired fucking players to also take these kids' jobs, Tanner?
Yes. You want to know the best way to not lose your job? Be better. I don't feel bad for these fucking kids who are trying to be kickers at Colorado State. Who cares?
Well, just imagine though, like Ocho Cinco, he retires from the NFL as a wide receiver, but then he comes back and he's just a kicker now. Because even McAfee talks about how the punters and kickers are just the best athletes on the field. There's not very many high school athletes who specialize in that kind of thing. And so you take the best athlete and go do your best, right? So, if you take the athletic ability of the people like Chad Johnson and just take his leg, just the length, he's so tall. He can get so much additional, I don't know, torque or leverage. I don't know. Probably leverage, I guess, is the appropriate word to just get without as much effort. He can kick it so much farther just because he's taller.
I'm with you. Yeah, CBS Sports Bleacher Report. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. I have it right here.
Interesting. So is he a fight fan?
Ocho Cinco here on behalf of Bleacher Report. Hey, this question's for Connor. Leaning over there. Hey, this question's for. All right. Hey, this question's for Connor. This is my first UFC presser.
Excellent.
Saturday will be my first UFC match.
Excellent.
I'm not a gambling man, but if there was an event where I would bet the house, it would be this Saturday. I want to know before I bet this money, how confident are you in Saturday's fight?
Welcome to the best show on earth, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. We're honored to have you, sir. I'm extremely confident, if you can't tell. I'm coming in with full preparation, full commitment, and full confidence in my striking abilities and my shots. And who knows, maybe a submission, but I'm going to be going for the knockout.
All right. There you go. Good to see you, baby.
You too.
What are the lines? Please. Flex, look that up. What are the lines for Connor on the submission? I'm going right now, 800 to 1. Tyler?
Okay.
700 plus 700 has to be.
Tanner?
Yeah, I'm with Tyler. 700.
All right, I'm logging in. Hold on.
Be really.
Holy shit! Connor on submission. I might go 1,000.
My bad.
I don't know. I'm gonna stick with 800.
That would be a really cool way to watch if that fight end.
Connor's never won by submission, by the way.
Yeah, that'd make it even cooler.
And Cowboy is pretty fucking gangster on the ground. He's got a few submissions, so that would be insane.
Hold on. So, hey, while I'm looking this up, two other matches out. The co-main event. We got Holly Holm versus
Raquel Pennington, number 2.
Yeah. Thoughts?
I'm excited to see it. I don't think it. Well, I don't know. It's gonna be difficult because Holly's Holly, but Raquel Pennington's a gangster, man. She might come back and just be completely prepared for that left high kick.
Yeah. And then, so in the prelims, one interesting match again. It's the ladies. The hold on, what's her name? So we've got Roxanne Modafferi. She's been around forever. Yeah. Versus Macy Barber, 21-year-old, 8-0 so far. Got a puncher versus a traditional kind of more BJ Penn kind of
Scrapper.
Yeah. Any thoughts on them, or do you just,
There's a lot of hype behind Modafferi, isn't there?
No. Macy Barber, the 21-year-old kid.
Oh, that's what I meant. Barber.
Yeah, she's like minus 800.
Yeah, she's the biggest favorite in this fight so far.
In this, the match.
In this whole card.
Yeah, the card. Why am I not finding? Hold on. All sports. Here we go. UFC, MMA. All right. Method of victory. Conor McGregor by submission. You all are way undershooting it. Plus 3,100.
Holy shit. Holy shit. For those that don't know, if you bet $100 on Conor winning by submission and he does that, you would win $3,100. Damn.
So Cerrone by submission is plus 600, just to see, like the gap there. Yeah. Even though Conor's favored to win the match by a significant amount, it is not by submission.
That 600 on Cerrone is not a bad gig. Like if you really thought that Conor was going to get tired and you thought that Cowboy could wear him down, I could see that ending a submission after what Nate Diaz did to him in that second round.
Yeah.
That might not be a bad bet. If you believe Cowboy can win, he's probably going to win by submission. That is not a bad bet.
Well, you look at the
Conor by submission. Holy shit, $3,100.
So Cowboy by KO TKO is plus 650, or versus submission is plus 600. So it could go either way with Cowboy. Right. If Cowboy's going to win, it's if you pick the right one. Shit, you could pick both of them and make money as long as he wins, right? Unless it goes to points or draw, but I don't think it's going to points or draw. So
you could drop 100 on Conor. Wait, it was minus 600 for a knockout?
For Conor by minus 200.
Oh, that's not bad. So you drop 200 on Conor for the knockout, or you would. What was the Cowboys' first submission? 600.
600.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I guess we're going one way or another.
Yep.
$3,100. Wow.
Are you betting the fight?
I just want to throw $10 on that shit. Just
are you gonna?
$310?
$20 on a fucking submission for Conor would pay out
$620.
$620. Fuck, man. That's.
And you can. You're in a legal state.
You know.
Better.
God damn, that's $3,100 on a submission for Conor. That's worth $20.
So how about this method and round combo? So if Conor McGregor wins by submission or by points, it's plus 800.
Wow, that's even better.
Or
we have to hit them both.
Hold on. So It's plus
No, it's
800.
It's or by submission or on points.
Yeah, we have to hit the round too.
Yeah.
No,
on point.
no. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. This is double chance. Sorry, I read that.
Okay.
Method and round is different. I was double chance is submission or points
No shit.
plus 800. So as long as it's not a knockout.
How do you not take those odds?
How do you not take those odds? So $20 pays out 400.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Just for Conor to take it to a decision.
Or
Wow.
submit. Either or.
I might have to go. I might have to visit the casino on Saturday.
I'm about to cash app you some money.
Or I might make the drive 3 hours to count the bluffs.
No shit.
All right, let's just throw $100 on it between the four of us, and we'll. Damn.
So now you're really not rooting for that knockout, are you, Marco? Huh?
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna bet on the knockout. I'll bet on the fucking.
But the points.
Hey, what did I say?
Woo.
Hey, what did I say? If he can go fucking 5 rounds with Nate, he can go 5 rounds with Cowboy.
That's what I'm expecting.
Same here.
So will the fight go distance? Will the fight go distance? Yes is plus 500. No is minus 1,000. So just yes or no. We'll go distance, yes or no. It doesn't matter who wins.
So you can put $20 on distance and $20 on the other one.
The double chance,
Yeah.
Holy shit! All right, well,
That's lucrative.
that was MMA talk.
Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
Probably go into divisional games real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, there's football going on. I forgot about that shit.
My team plays this weekend. That's
Oh,
right.
yeah. Good luck with that. The fucking Niners, bro, in fucking San Francisco, bro.
We're the Packers are the cowboy of this world, and the Niners are McGregor. I'll give you that.
You willing to bet on the fucking Packers, bro?
No, I won't bet on my team ever. Never.
So let me ask this: what's the most interesting game of this weekend?
Packers.
Oh,
for sure.
No way. Absolutely not. Titans, Chiefs.
Titans,
Chiefs.
Yep.
The Titans shouldn't be
Titans.
there. Titans shouldn't be there, according to everybody. I mean, nobody could have predicted this. And the Chiefs, think about what they needed to get home field advantage in this game. They needed the Titans to beat the Patriots in Foxborough and the Titans to beat the unstoppable Ravens in Baltimore. This is a marquee matchup. And they're both going to be – I think they're both great games, don't get me wrong. But the Chiefs and Titans, this could be electric. It could be Derrick Henry.
Oh, shit. Sorry. Breaking news. Israel Adesanya versus Yoel Romero official for 248.
Just saw that. March 7th.
That's the March fight. So if Conor or Cowboy can jump on the co-main of that, that'd be a great weekend.
What weight class is that?
Yoel Romero and they're 185.
Okay.
Middle.
That's what I thought. That should be fun.
Yeah.
They might literally kill each other.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I think if I could give one take on the Chiefs and Titans, though, it's going to be, I think, a race. It's going to be a race to 3 touchdowns. Derrick Henry versus Patrick Mahomes. Honestly, that you could see defense just out the window in this game. Would you guys agree? Could you see shootout coming, or do you think it's going to be lower scoring?
See, the only thing that gets me is in the middle of the season against the Chiefs. Now, granted, Mahomes was slightly injured. He had, some ankle issues. But the Colts ran all over the Chiefs. And then the very next week, Houston ran all over the Chiefs. But then you look at last week, and Houston couldn't stop them. So, I just don't know.
That was such a wild game. Going up 24-0. Bill O'Brien is the worst coach in the NFL.
The worst.
He cannot lead men. Oh, my God. 24-0. How do you let the Chiefs score a touchdown in the first quarter, let alone 3?
I don't get it.
I thought it was that they single-handedly hit the over.
No shit.
No
The
shit.
over was 51.
It was a disgusting game to watch. I was
Entertaining.
the second they missed that fake punt, I knew Chiefs were going to beat them by 3 touchdowns. It was just messed up. Marco, what do you think about your boy Odell Beckham being a butt slapper of
Slap ass.
Oh, I thought he was talking about him handing out that cash.
Well,
He's the next AB. He's gonna work himself right out of a job. Des Bryant did it, then Antonio Bryant did it. Now it's gonna be OBJ. These guys,
He's already asking to leave.
these guys are just fools.
Like I said, CTE. What can I say?
Odell hasn't taken many big hits, hardly at all.
Yeah, well, some people's brains are more sensitive than others, Tan.
Oh my god! We're just gonna blame these guys acting like a bunch of fucking idiots on CT every time. This is exactly why I don't talk about CT as much, because everyone just calls it CT. Or nowadays, like if your kid's hyper, they just call it ADD or ADHD. We just put a label on something and like, all right, he's got that. That's why he does it, instead of just trying to fix a problem. You know, the best thing that could ever happen to Odell Beckham Jr. is that one of his big offensive or defensive linemen just pummeled the fuck out of him right in front of the whole team. Then guess what? He'd be humbled. He'd come back and try to prove to everyone he's not a piece of shit. Browns might be worth something.
Yep. Well, my thing about the national championship is, like, I don't care about the butt slapping. The security guard or whatever is a bitch. Who cares if he slapped his ass? But also, who the fuck cares if he gave out that money? The NCAA is the worst.
Oh, they're just like McAfee always says, they're the biggest mafia in the country.
They're the fucking worst.
Coach O and Dabo both got $1 million plus bonuses just to coach in that game.
Yeah.
Those kids got to smoke cigars in the locker room,
and they got threatened to be arrested.
Right.
For doing so. Fuck that. The NCAA is the worst.
Do you have a college team like in the SEC? Like, is there like a big school that you root for besides Iowa, Marco?
Nope.
Okay, you're just Hawkeyes.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you had another team that you had a soft spot for or whatever. Like, I've always kind of just had a thing for LSU since Coach O came on.
That's because you're a fucking fake ass fan.
No, I really like that he's a CEO style coach. You know, like he's not the offensive or defensive guru. He's just kind of the CEO. I don't know. I always find that interesting. Plus the part of my
you're basically a fucking traitor.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Flex?
I don't give a shit how he coaches. I just love the way he talks.
Yeah, that's Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
So the Tigers won.
Yes.
Marco, you look like you're about to pass out right now. What happened to you?
No, I was just trying to decide which college team I was supposed to root for besides, the only one I want to root for.
No, I'm not saying that yet.
No, that's fine. You're a fucking fucking traitor.
What are you talking about?
You're a fucking traitor.
I'm not. How am I a traitor?
You're cheering for a different college team?
Yeah, when they're not playing Wisconsin. That's pretty normal. I think most people do that.
As long as it's not Alabama.
Yeah.
Alabama or the Yankees.
Could never root for Alabama.
Alabama or the Patriots?
The Patriots.
Correct. Could never
the
root for the Patriots.
Alabama. Nobody.
The Packers.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that hate the Packers. That's fine. But everybody that comes to Lambeau loves it. I've met so many Vikings and Bears fans that said, like, God, we hated every fucking second of watching the Packers win, but the people were really cool, and it was a really cool stadium. And
except for when they're fucking yawning all fucking night because they're pussies and they can't handle their liquor.
That would never happen at Lambeau.
I don't think Wisconsin is known for not
happen at Lambeau. I'm just coming off a 3-day bender. That's why I'm tired.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm still here. This is my flu game. I still got you all worked up about a sport I watch, kinda. I'm just doing my job.
Oh, so you guys will appreciate this. The chick who faded my fade. I looked over on her little wall of decorations, and I see this glorious mustache on this playing card, and a little what do they call them? The little ice things that they shuffle across the
curling.
Yeah,
Curling?
fucking. She's got a picture of Maddie Hamilton hanging up on the fucking wall. It's actually like a figurine of him or whatever it's called.
He was just the keynote speaker at this conference I was at too. I met him.
Fucking Maddie Hamilton's hanging up on her wall, and I was like, fucking respect. I actually took a picture of it. I'll have to post it. But,
he's cool as shit. Madison's own. He's a Wisconsin boy. Him and his sister.
When I just Googled here real quick, the drunkest states in America, and Wisconsin is definitely number 2 behind North Dakota.
Per capita, they're insane.
Nobody lives there.
Well, it's because they have the oil rigs out there, so they
all those
like alcohol-related arrests and stuff. If you're out on the oil rig, all you do is drugs and drink.
Yep.
You have no way to spend your money, and you make a ton of it.
Yep. And their alcohol-related driving deaths is like 10% higher than Wisconsin.
Well, there's no speed limit out in North Dakota on half the state.
It's wild. It
is the wild, wild west out there. That's what we should do for the Anomalies. Do a little meetup in North Dakota.
My grandpa is from North Dakota. My dad grew up in North Dakota. So go Carrington, North Dakota. Shout out.
A Flatlander.
Oh, yeah.
Marco, are you going to bet on the fights or what?
Yeah, I think so. I got a question for you, Tanner.
What's up?
Did you hear about the golf player that got arrested for a DUI?
Golf player that got arrested. Tiger Woods?
He should have picked a better driver.
That's normally a trash man issue, but okay. I knew that was coming.
I thought for sure you were.
I had to edit somehow.
I thought for sure you were reading this article. No wonder you sound so distracted. You've been looking for this joke for an hour and 20 minutes. But yeah, we got to wrap up.
But look at him. He's so stupid. He's got a little smirk.
Tyler, when are you going to have this one out for the people?
I'll push it out tonight.
It's coming out tonight, everybody. We recorded this on Thursday night. We had to get something to go. We have been infighting about the UFC match for the last, I would say 72 hours, but it's actually 24 more than that. 96 hours. Marco is so passionate in the DMs, and he shows up on the podcast, and it took a while to get the fire out of you. I thought you were going to
full fucking Bruce Lee attire, Conor McGregor coming through hot, second round, 2 minutes in, left hand, Cowboys laid out. Bring in Jorge Masvidal, BMF title. Let's fucking go.
You heard it here first, folks. The wrong take, but Marco's loud, so you guys can quote it all you want. We'll publish all of our predictions the day of the fight. We'll obviously all be watching. No matter what, it's going to be newsworthy. And let's just say Marco's probably going to be wrong. But he might make a little money. He might make a little money on this. All right. We're going to wrap up. For Tyler Allen, at Tyler Allen out on Twitterverse, at Que Pasa Primo, Marco in Iowa, a.k.a. Wrong, at JJ Flagel, Flags are man down in Indiana. I'm at Vanilla Gorilla up in here in Wisconsin. Thanks for rocking with us.
Who the fuck is this guy?
Kill it.
Is he?
Oh, God. I'm so sorry.
Brian.